I sat there and started talking to him, and he told me he was very frustrated about not able to sing more songs with Long John Baldry and his band Bluesology, and he wanted to make some records on his own. So, in short, he'd come for this audition. So I asked him to sit down at this piano in my office and play a few songs. And he sat down, and of course, he was a brilliant piano player. And he had a marvelous voice, but he really didn't look like a pop star in those days. And of course, he admitted to me that he couldn't write any lyrics, whilst he might be able to write some music. Long story short, I took him to Denmark Street, to a recording studio called Regent Sound, and we made some demos. And my record company, Liberty Records, didn't like him. So I said, well, I like you. I'm going to try and help you a little further. So I sent him to a couple of friends of mine that I was also helping. And I suddenly got a letter in from this chap called Bernie Taupin. And Bernie had written to me and said that he essentially a poet, and maybe his lyrics could be set to music. And so a little bell went off in my head. I read these lyrics. I mean, they were out there, and they were really good. And I actually sent them to Reg, or Elton, as he was almost known then, and they started to write together. And Bernie, I invited him down to come down to London, if he was down in London, and that was the start of it, really. And then he came down, and I introduced him to Elton, and we went on from there.
Yeah, it's very strange actually, because if it weren't for you, Ray, there weren't people. Bernie Taupin has been a full-time lyricist now for half a century, and it's actually kind of very hard to be a lyric writer now. It's not like Rodgers and Hammerstein or George and Ira Gershwin anymore. But it's thanks to you. You found a guy who was basically a poet, and you put him together with a piano player who just hadn't any feel for words, and you came up with one of the last great songwriting teams.
Yeah, I mean, I have to pinch myself sometimes, but they really were great together. They developed over a couple of years, and then Elton asked me to be his personal manager, and I became his personal manager and then had to do it with Dick James. And we started promoting his music, and we did very well in Europe. And then we had to go to America, and unfortunately, we didn't have any money really to go to America. And Dick came up with the money and managed to get a gig called The Troubadour. And he got there, and everything kicked off from there. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, he changed. Yeah, no, but that.